Girls, your mother and I are getting divorced. Monogamy isn't realistic.
Monogamy isn't realistic.
Again.
Monogamy isn't realistic.
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Ben and Tim and Christy and Alonzo and Amy Schumer, star of Comedy Central, has made a leap to the big screen with Trainwreck. And Christy's going to tell us about it.
Yes, being the blonde alcoholic on the panel, I get to describe Trainwreck to you. It's a documentary. So Amy Schumer stars as a woman named Amy, who is a magazine writer. It's been hammered into her head from a very, very young age that monogamy isn't practical, and so she sleeps with everybody she possibly can, has a great time, is drunk quite frequently, and has no regrets and no apologies for her behavior until she has to interview Bill Hader, who is Manhattan's leading sports doctor, and finds that maybe she likes him and maybe she wants to spend the night. Take a look.
But now I know exactly what he was talking about.
Saturday, I would love it if you were my date.
I can't do that because, you and I won't ever see each other again.
I wake up late every morning, manager's calling, I'm still yawning.
Good morning.
Oh, Amy. What happened? Did church let out early?
I'm just a modern chick who does what she wants. Last week, it was this guy.
Is that wine in the box?
Hey, Mark Wahlberg, shut up.
Mark Wahlberg? Mark Wahlberg's like 150 pounds. I look like Mark Wahlberg ate Mark Wahlberg.
Before you judge, you should know I'm doing fine. My friends are awesome, my apartment's sick, and I have a great job at a men's magazine.
I like you, Amy. You're clever, but you're not too brainy. You're pretty-ish, and you're not gorgeous. You're approachable.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm giving you an assignment. I need a profile on a sports doctor. Oh.
What am I doing? I slept at the doctor's place last night.
My boy got intimate.
Yes.
Sexual intercourse. Oh!
You never spend the night. What were you, blackout drunk?
No, I had 2 drinks. 3 max. 4 now that I'm tallying.
Because you're on antibiotics or something?
Oh my God, he's calling me.
Why would he call? You guys just had sex.
This is Amy. I think you butt dialed me.
No, I dialed you with my fingers.
What'd she say? What'd she say?
Shh. He called me on purpose.
Hang up. He's obviously sick or something.
I was calling to say I had a really good time last night. I was wondering if you wanted to hang out again.
I'm going to say something up top here. This movie made me cry. This is the first Judd Apatow movie that I cried in. Now, I know you cry all the damn time. This is not impressive to you, Ben Mankiewicz.
She's pointing at Ben. I want to be clear on that, not me.
Ben is a softie, but I don't cry, as you well know. But I'm not going to say what they are, but there are 2 specific moments in this movie that I got a little choked up.
Yeah, I'm a movie crier too, and I'd be curious what the other one was, because I cried once. I kind of teared up at one point. But yeah, which I think is actually one of the interesting things about this movie, because I think it's very funny and it's really well done for the first 2 acts until it kind of runs out of gas.
Typical Judd Apatow movie, right?
Very Judd Apatow. But it's actually much more emotional in a genuine way than I was expecting. I'm a big fan of Inside Amy Schumer. I think it's as good as everybody says it is. But it's not necessarily a very emotional or touching show. And to see her, because she also wrote this movie, and to see what she comes up with in terms of the family dynamics that she creates with her and Brie Larson, who plays her sister, and her father, who's played by Colin Quinn, who's really good in it, who has MS and is in he's in an assisted living type of situation. It's really well done kind of across the board, I felt like.
You know, for all the Apatow problems that it has in terms of it's too long and scenes go on too long, I love this character. I think it's, I've heard already complaints that, this movie's really reactionary and it's sort of slut-shaming or something.
It's not.
I don't think so. No, I think the movie, it's about somebody who maybe decides they want to live their life in a different way, but I never got the stink of judgment on it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I think it's smarter than that. And I got to say, not since maybe Preston Sturges has there been this deep a field of second bananas.
It's so random.
Ranging
it's really
from
random.
Tilda Swinton to your buddy Norman Lloyd, who's 100, to John Cena, to LeBron James. Right. Who is the comedic find of this movie?
He's so funny.
I don't know. Maybe LeBron James has just this much comic talent, but Apatow hits every single note in the LeBron James octave.
Sorry to interrupt. We watching Downton Abbey later?
LeBron, I'm being interviewed.
Listen, I'm watching it tonight because I'm not going to go to practice and all the guys are talking about it and I'm left out.
Tall.
And he's a delight.
You know, and a lot of and many of LeBron's great lines aren't in the movie because I've seen them in trailers. There's some redone trailers. It was funny in the trailers too. So he had a line that didn't make the movie. Is she your Cleveland? But I thought, and you mentioned it with how it reflects on Apatow, because I thought John Cena was really funny too.
Oh God, so funny.
And those guys, you know, you forget wrestlers. I'm not a wrestling fan because I'm a normal person. But but those guys are performers.
Sure.
Like, you know, they know how to own a stage, and in some sense, it's not quite a surprise. But to see Cena and LeBron deliver those type of performances, I think really, you know, Apatow, that guy can, you know, and I didn't. And the last thing, I'm sorry, but I didn't. I did an hour and a half interview with Tilda Swinton at Telluride like 3 years ago, and until the end credits,
Me
where it
too.
said "and Tilda Swinton," I was like, "Who? Tilda Swinton was?"
Me too.
Yeah. I
Like
did
she's
not know.
tan. It's because she's tan.
I guess it's the
and because
tan,
of the eyeliner.
Yeah, the
But
horrifying blue eyeshadow.
She's hilarious.
But she's
in
hilarious.
this.
She's great. She's great. Like,
And-
whoever that woman was.
Right. She
going
is
places.
Amy's like mod goddess ball breaking boss at the magazine, and she's a massive egomaniac. But like she's an interesting counterpoint to the Amy Schumer character because they're both strong and they're independent and they live by their own rules. But Tilda Swinton's character is like unapologetically unlikable. She does not give a shit. Whereas Amy Schumer actually wants to have some kind
Still
of
has a
connection.
soul.
Right? So it's an interesting counterpoint that they're both.
And two things that haven't been brought up yet, since we haven't mentioned him, Bill Hader.
Oh my God,
yeah.
so good.
I mean, Bill Hader is someone who I've loved ever since SNL, and was curious how his film career was going to kind of develop. And this, to me, between like this and Skeleton,
I love Skeleton.
he's really been able to find a niche, and he and Schumer have such great rapport. They have such great chemistry. I was just so impressed in terms of how good Hader is. And also, I think, in terms of other complaints I've heard about the movie that I'm curious about how people feel, is I think people had an expectation that because Inside Amy Schumer is such a, it sends up so many genres, it mocks so many things, that people are kind of surprised. This is actually kind of a traditional romantic comedy, which I don't consider to be like a problem with the movie. To me, like one of the things I really love in terms of the Judd Apatow problems I sometimes have with his movies is this feels very polished. It feels very well put together. Where I feel like a lot of his movies, even the ones I really like, feel so improv on the set that they can feel really, really ragged. And this one feels much more kind of elegant in a way that his movies don't normally
Well, there's
feel.
definitely an arc to it. I mean, like it feels written in a real way, but at the same time, like for example, there's a scene where Becky Ann Baker shows up, has no dialogue, and is never seen again, and you're thinking, oh God, there was an entire Becky Ann Baker character in this movie that is now on the cutting room floor that we're going to get on the 4-hour DVD one of these days.
But the flip side of that is that you have the scene with LeBron and Marv Albert and Chris Evert and Matthew Broderick, which is not funny in the slightest.
Which is terrible.
That was kind of weak.
You feel like, okay, Judd Apatow assembled all these people. He can't cut that scene. Like they went to the trouble to show up that day. So something like that, though, is a very typical Judd Apatow instinct to just like have a thing that's random that doesn't.
But I think
fit.
what Tim finds, because I found it too, is that there are still those Apatow moments in there, but they're not as critical to the arc of the story. Like they're just you're like, there's that moment where you know LeBron did 78 different versions of that, and then they picked but they don't matter, and they never. Whereas in other Apatow movies, they sometimes get in the way. Here, yes, that scene has no business in the movie.
It's
and it
not
probably
funny
wouldn't-
at all.
Yeah,
I'm going to disagree with it's not funny at all. It's a little funny. And the Marv Albert, the idea of Marv Albert doing play-by-play of an intervention made it funny enough. But it was so obviously from a different movie. It's from a send-up, not from a real movie.
Yeah. And it's part to me of what is so problematic about the third act is that I feel like there's so many like kind of off, like just kind of tonally off scenes. Like, even like I don't want to ruin the
Even the finale.
The finale feels like it's beamed in from
I liked
from,
it.
I like the finale.
It too. I had a big smile on
And
my
I
face.
think it says something about the character. Like it's not just a thing to be a thing. That it actually relates to stuff that's happened earlier and represents changes that she's willing to make in herself.
I agree.
Look, because the same way that I didn't mind the Matthew Broderick, Chris Evert scene independently. Like again, if it was part of Inside Amy Schumer, it would have worked incredibly well. That's how I felt about the finale too. I liked it too, and yes, it was the kind of thing she would have done, except it was too much of the kind of thing she would have done. Like it wouldn't, like it just, and it ended up being a very, very, very recognizable romantic comedy moment in a movie that seemed, while definitely in that genre, to sort of blaze its own trail for the first 2/3.
I think I should sit by Ben because I totally, that's exactly right. It's like I appreciate the attempt of it, but it just kind of goes on. And then I was like, oh, it's over. And then it kept going after that.
Yeah, no, this movie, it starts out feeling very subversive, and then it does become a rather conventional romantic comedy, but it finds its place of peace on its own terms.
Sure.
And so it worked for me. Yes, there's this reversal of traditional gender roles.
Totally, yeah,
because
because she's the promiscuous party animal. He's the guy who wants to settle down. LeBron is playing the Eve Arden role, basically, or in a lazier movie, the Amy Schumer role, like the best friend who's like, well, is he going to call her?
No, this would be the Judy Greer role normally.
It's
like this would be Judy Greer is being replaced now by LeBron James.
I know. God, she cannot get a break.
But that said, I think what we all like I don't want to get bogged down in that criticism because it's very funny.
Absolutely.
And it's very sweet and you like these people, and for the most part, they seem like people.
Yeah, between this and Spy, I think these are the two best comedies of the summer, very easily.
Oh yeah, no question.
What did I give it? Because I want to raise it even.
Okay, you gave it an 8.1.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
No, I'm going to bump it up, but I'll make it easy for you. I was making it an 8.5, and you then pull it up 1/10 of it.
Okay, so I'm going to say 8.2. Tim is going to say...
I'm going to give it an 8.
And Alonzo's going to say...
I'm keeping my 8.2.
And you are now 8.5. Right. Now we're at 8.2. It's math by committee. It is at 88% on the tomato meter. Only a few folks don't like it, but I'd be curious to see what you guys think. It's a cool mix of stuff. Bye.